I yield back. Thank you.
Ms. Kuster, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Dr. Lynch and Dr. Clancy, for being with us this evening. I think what all of us are trying to do is to be helpful. I think our chair opened the hearing asking, how can Congress help you? And our challenge is that this whole process feels like a Rubik's Cube. Every time we think we've got a piece in order and we think we understand what the problem is it not enough physicians? Then we offer to help on that, but maybe that's not the problem, it's a space problem. If it's not a space problem, it's the support staff, and the list goes on and on. I'm very fortunate to have experience with the VA in New Hampshire. My father-in-law got very excellent care within that system. But obviously the concern that we have is that that be replicated for every veteran around the country. So the focus of my comments is how do we ensure access to high quality care at a cost that the taxpayers can see issues. I know this isn't easy, this conundrum of high quality care, access, and cost. It's sometimes a wobbly three-legged stool. But in your case, it seems that the problems of scheduling and wait time data has called into question the whole basis for your staffing and capacity calculations. And I think, Dr. Lynch, you just mentioned this. You're trying to match supply and demand, but you don't have an accurate picture on the demand side, and so trying to determine what the staffing model would be is of limited use. And when you tell us the average is a physician seeing 10 patients a day, does that include the data that we've heard in this committee of 50% no-shows? So is that actually a physician that has 20 slots per day, but only 10 patients walk through the door? And we want to help you with this. We want to get the policy right. We have legislation that we're offering this week. It'll be bipartisan. That's about getting residents involved, give you greater capacity. We would be happy to help talk about what the space issues, but how can you help us with where to start helping you?
Congresswoman, I think we can start by trying to give you the information that you ask for, and I apologize if you have not seen that. We have provided a briefing to members of this committee on the productivity model that we have. I acknowledge that until we can assure the accuracy of our scheduling data, that information is going to be flawed. Although I am confident at this point that I think we do have reasonable information on productivity, and we can begin to use the productivity information to begin to look at what we need in the way of additional staffing to increase the efficiency of physicians, or in those practices that are very efficient, who we may need in the way of additional physicians. So I think we have a start, but I think we need to gather more data. I think we need to have accurate data on access before we can come to a final answer.
And then if we could add Dr. Benechek's analysis about the cost in-house and outside the VA, because it's difficult for us to make that recommendation as to how to make these adjustments. You know, we want veterans to be seen in a timely way, but it's not unlimited, you know, the funds that can be put toward this. If it is less expensive within the VA, then let's expand your capacity. If it's less expensive outside the VA, then let's use private facilities, but we're not able to measure this at this point.
No, but I think that all of the information that you've heard, and we look forward to briefing you more on the productivity and staffing, will be a huge puzzle piece here that will be foundational to getting to this second order question after the emergency of addressing people waiting in line right now about what kinds of resources do we need. And the issue that Dr. Lynch brought up a couple of times about make or buy decision at the very local level, because that's where it needs to happen, the answer to that is not going to be thumbs up, thumbs down all the way. It's probably going to be make in some areas, primary care, for example, and buy in some other specialty areas and so forth. And a lot of that will be a very dynamic relationship with community capacity and so forth.
My time is up, but I do have a specific question I'd like to get to later about women being served in the VA, because I think that's a unique situation as well, and problematic at best. So thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.
Ms. Walorski?